The second Elimination Chamber match was for the vacated Intercontinental Championship. Unfortunately, Vacant had to drop the title. Shame, man. He had a good run, though.
It's shame Mark Henry to take a spot in the match, too.
Yeah, I mean, shit, he almost had a spot in the match with Rusev being gone. Vacant could have won it back, but
Mark Henry I think backstage. I think he's feeling more heartbroken than Rusev. I mean, he lost his UFC title too.
He lost that spot on Destination America to Ring of Honor. Vacant WWE on Facebook. Go like that page.
Well, at least he's getting into real estate. I heard he's going to be joining the Impact Zone.
Oh. DNA sucks. What's the Twitter account for Vacant? WWE Vacant?
I think it's Vacant Wrestler.
Oh, okay. Go check out Vacant on Facebook and Twitter. He's a good guy. He has some vacant tweets and stuff.
Yeah.
But putting that aside, the competitors in this match
wrestler.
were Mark Henry, Sheamus, King Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and R-Truth. And this was another fun match. I didn't think that it was, the best match ever for Elimination Chambers and stuff, but I liked it. And more importantly, I liked the finish of it. I'm very glad that Ryback is the champion. Sheamus is on my Fantasy League team, but you know what? Fantasy League team doesn't have any, repercussions. It's not something where I get any money or whatever. I'd much rather take a loss, have Sheamus lose, and have the Ryback, the old big guy, end up winning the match. And that's what Daniel O'Brien called him.
Dan.
And yeah, that was fucking great. It was just like, yeah, thanks, Dan. Fucking so great.
You're awesome, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Dan? Old Dano. I fucking love Ryback. I'm so glad he won the title. I'm glad that there were some different weird things going on here. Sheamus showing a little bit of intelligence by blocking the chamber, the little necklace that he had. A couple good spots here and there. One thing that I don't know why people are so confused about this. Get your opinion about this, everybody. That whole spot with Mark Henry and the pod door. Why is everybody thinking that was some unplanned thing that ruined the whole match?
Because they're fucking marks.
Yeah.
Come on, you mean to tell me that that's not fucking planned? Even if it wasn't planned, how the fuck did that ruin the match?
No, you guys, CM Punk was actually pissed and walked out with the title.
Oh, come on, man. There's a lot of heat on this one, and I don't know why. I mean, it was perfectly fine Elimination Chamber match.
I don't even see how it got... Let's say it did happen by accident and they just went off the fly. What was so bad?
Right.
I didn't see what was so bad at all.
It's a match where somebody was going to come out in the next couple seconds anyway. So he came out early. Finlay fucking came out 2 minutes before he was supposed to in the one Royal Rumble.
If anything, it made the match shorter, which was good.
Yeah. It wasn't Mark Henry fell, broke his ankle, and then they had somebody like The Miz run in and do something different. That he was replacing Rusev. Okay. If that's the issue, that ruined the whole match, that Rusev wasn't in it, then I don't know what to tell you. But
my theory with that is I think a lot of people are upset that they didn't do more with that open spot, like you pull up a guy from NXT or some sort of surprise guy and have that guy win because, it's so shocking and, you were swerved and
So instead of having a pointless pre-show match between Stardust and Zack Ryder, could have put Stardust in the match. Would have made sense.
They could have put something with implications on that. Yeah. They could have done more, but at the same time, they didn't need to. Right. That was not part of the plan. They're not going to deviate from the plan. Whoever was there, Rusev was just a warm body at that point. Yeah, they had a little thing going on with him and Ziggler, but it really didn't have any implications on the match, I don't think. They would have just, went after each other some more. So they just needed another warm body in there, and if you're going to do that, what's wrong with Mark Henry? I mean, the guy was a Texas homeboy, so there's a little bit of a hometown crowd getting to cheer for him. He's a big, mean-looking dude. It completely changed what was going on in that match because everyone else in the match was not big by any means. They were all smaller guys, especially
Sheamus
compared
and
to Mark
Ryback were the two biggest ones before he got in there.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people have been hating some of these older guys like Kane, Big Show, and Mark Henry. They've been getting really rude with these "please retire" chants, which I think is so disrespectful. Fans can chant whatever you want, I guess, but I don't like that. I don't think that's cool.
If they weren't still putting on good matches, then I could see chanting that, but what the hell's wrong with Mark Henry now? Hell, he's in better shape now than he's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing Mark Henry's ever done is something relatively recent when he was a World Heavyweight Champion. People were chanting bullshit at him years before that, wanting him to retire, and it was like, yeah, you know what? He didn't, and he ended up kicking ass.
Yeah, that or the fake retirement angle with John Cena.
That was
fucking
brilliant.
gold. Yeah.
See, even if they're putting on shit matches or not, I don't think it's acceptable to say that, especially after they've given so many years.
Mm-hmm.
Not just to the business, but to your enjoyment, which you probably enjoyed when they were in their prime.
But especially if they're not doing anything offensive. You know? Mark Henry's in there because he's a fucking former World Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm.
He's a credible wrestler, and also he's probably someone they could trust in that spot.
And he wasn't doing anything earlier on the night. It's not like they had him wrestle 2 matches and you're like tired of seeing him. You're gonna replace him with fucking Diego?
No, they're gonna replace him with El Torito.
I do think though that you hit the nail on the head, Peyton, when you said that people were probably expecting something even better than that. Because I know that some people were going, well, what if it's Chris Jericho? And you know, and it's like, well, this is just Elimination Chamber. You really thought that was going to be like Sting or fucking Stone Cold or something like that? Like, no, there was going to be somebody on the roster. And out of all the people that were on the roster that hadn't had a match, Mark Henry's a good choice. You know, maybe Big Show could have been in there, but people would have bitched about that too. So I just don't see what the hate is. I thought that this was perfectly fine. Did you enjoy the match overall, though, Peyton?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this was by no means the greatest Elimination Chamber match, but neither did I expect to. This was a mid-card title Elimination Chamber match. There was a lot of fun things they did in it. The whole thing with Sheamus locking the door was cool, but they revisited it a little later on where, like, he couldn't get the door open because it was locked like that. And I have to question, how did that get back there? Like, how did it get locked from the inside with nobody in it? Anybody else catch that?
Fandango did it.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a continuity error, but besides that, I was happy with this match. I'm ecstatic that Ryback won. I honestly, I predicted him on the contest that we did in the Mega Maniacs group, which, by the way, shout outs to Leslie in there for putting that all together. That was a really awesome community thing they did in there. She said she's going to be doing that normally, so if you want to get a part of the little predictions contest in our Mega Maniacs Facebook group, she'd always be doing that there. I went out on the limb on that one, and I was one of only 2 people to predict Ryback on that match. Sheamus was the heavy favorite. So for Ryback to pull that out, and they had that whole touching story about how he went to visit some like Make-A-Wish kid or something, and the kid was like, "What? You know, why'd you lose to this guy?" And he's like, "You know, sometimes the bad guys win, but you know what? If you work hard enough, you can win, and that's what I'm going to do on Sunday." And then he did it. Oh, it was such a feel-good moment.
Sometimes the bad guys win. Tonight, the big guys go.
And he was so happy. He just looked so happy. The big grin on his face, and his ears were wiggling, and like he's in there with Daniel Bryan, and they're like,
old Dan.
Like, "Hey, Daniel, let's go get some lemon shakes after this."
You the "you deserve it" chant. He should have got that because he did deserve it. The guy works very hard, and you can tell he's very, very passionate for this business.
And he had the belt on tonight, and he looked fantastic with it. I'm going to use the term again. I clenched my butthole because I thought for a second there they were going to do this thing where like Miz comes back and takes the title away from him, and that would have given me so much heat with Miz. I would have hated Miz so much if he took that title from Ryback tonight on Raw. Because they do that all the time. Miz comes back from making a fucking movie and they give him the Intercontinental title. I feel like they've done that like 3 or 4 times. It's ridiculous.
I think it's in his contract.
But no, they didn't do that time. They had Big Show come out and just knock Miz the fuck out, which was so awesome.
Thank God.
That looks like it's going to be Ryback's first feud for this title, and great, because you know what? That means Ryback's probably going to keep it, and I think he's going to have a good run. I think he's going to hold on to this for a while.
Listen, along with Mikey P, I did predict Ryback, the big guy, is going to win. And honestly, this is
I think Tony predicted that.
Anyways, I will say one thing.
Good job, Tony.
I'm glad Ryback won this match, because honestly, in my eyes, he does deserve it. I think out of all the people in this match, he deserved it the most, to be honest with you. Yeah, Sheamus just came back from, being Sheamus. And King Barrett, yeah, he's a king. Ziggler's held it before, and R-Truth is...
R-Truth.
Yeah, but Ryback, he's been here for about 4. This will be his 4th year, at least on the main roster, if you're not counting the NXT shtick. He hasn't really done much for the most part. Yeah, he had that feud with Punk, and yeah, he did main event in a few pay-per-views. What else has he really done? Not much for the most part, other than the Authority Survivor Series match. So I'm really glad that they decided to put it on him. I've been Ryback supporter since day one. Really glad that he won it. I really hope that they don't screw this up because ever since he's came back from the injury, we're pushing him slowly, giving him some stuff to do. In the meantime, yeah, he lost to Bray Wyatt, but I think this could be steps in the right direction. They're really rebuilding the Ryback character. They've given him a personality now, and just overall, how can you not root for the big guy? Listen, I went out. I didn't go out on a limb at all. I just thought Ryback's gonna win. You wanna know why? He hasn't had a belt yet, and guess what? He's got a belt, the big belt. It's the big guy. By the way, it was a good match. By the way, if I haven't mentioned that yet, so yeah.
Bego, were you a fan of this match?
I was into it in certain points of the match, but I felt it dragged in some instances. I'd say it's the better of the two Elimination Chamber matches, but I felt they could have done more with it. And I'm not sure what I expected. I've been conditioned to expect a certain quality out of Elimination Chamber, and I still hold on to the earlier matches. Guess out of nostalgia more than anything, so these matches just seem really underwhelming. In fact, I think having the tag titles in it and not so much the IC titles diminished the value of the Elimination Chamber, and it was pretty devalued from it being a pay-per-view anyway.
You're at least happy with Ryback as champ?
Oh, definitely. I've got not a bad word to say about that guy. I still think there's members of the Smark community that don't like him because he's ideally fitting that WWE mold, but if you look beyond that, the guy is ultra talented and he's worked for everything that he's got.
All positives on the Ryback side there. Tell us
On
if
the
you think
Ryback
that
side.
you are a fan of this as well. Did you want him to win? Did you want somebody like Ziggler or Sheamus or Barrett or whatever to win?
R-Truth.
What do you think about the whole Rusev replacement thing? Leave all those comments below. We've got one more match to talk about. That is Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins.